Welcome to Uprisings. My name is Muriel Krabs, and I am here with Larry Kuntz, who is the director of the Hanover Symphony Orchestra. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The title. And Mr. Kuntz is really Maestro Kuntz. What is that Maestro? Where does that word come from?
It's an Italian word that musicians use. They put that tag on their leader. It's a sign of respect and admiration.
Okay, so you are really, I mean, they actually call you that, correct?
They do in rehearsal, yes.
How nice.
Yeah.
Well, in your day job, what do you do?
I'm a music teacher. I direct the orchestras at Southwestern School District. I direct the chamber orchestra and the symphony orchestra. We have an 81-piece symphony orchestra with all the instruments and all the families of and then the chamber orchestra is comprised of our top 22 string players in the school. And then we also have orchestras in the middle school that I direct.
Well, so we're not here to talk about Southwestern School District. I really would like to hear about this orchestra. You know, this show, Uprisings, I started to help people identify things that inspire them. I'm concerned about how the world's going to go with the economy and serious problems ahead. And so what I am hoping to do is to bring to people ideas and events, people who will add to their lives in easy, inexpensive ways. Now, I understand the Hanover Symphony, which I've come and listen to, it's wonderful, is made up primarily of volunteers, isn't it?
Yes, it's an all-volunteer orchestra.
How many members do you have?
We have 65 players.
And they're aren't they from all walks of life?
Yes, we have some professional musicians, some amateur musicians who do other things by day, and we also have advanced students in the group.
I think I understand you have a doctor or two.
Yes, we have a doctor, an anesthesiologist, a dentist.
And students are members of your orchestra. And I think people from the CIA, they might tell you what they do, then they'd have to kill you, and that would be too bad, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes.
So, but they're just people from all walks of life. How did this orchestra get started?
Well, it was a long process. I moved to Hanover in 1992 from Corning, New York, where I had been making music before. And I noticed that there was a lot to do in the summertime in Hanover musically for people who play instruments, but there was really nothing for them in the fall, winter, and spring. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if we had a community orchestra in town where people could use their talents? And I shared that with a few key individuals, leaders in the community, and we all came together this was the spring and summer of 1995, and two of those key people are still with the group today. The first person I actually talked to about this idea of starting an orchestra in Hanover was Joe Clark. He's the percussion guru in the area. He owns JC Drum Shop, plays in a lot of local bands, and also teaches private lessons.
Isn't his sister the principal of St. Vincent's?
Yes,
and
that's the same one. Yes.
She sings and has been in different plays, hasn't she? With the Nonsense, I believe she's been in, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. How many such a musical family?
Yes, it is. And Joe is top-notch percussionist, and he's still with us to this day. He was one of the founding members of the group. He gave us a lot of inspiration to go out and recruit musicians, and he's now the president of our board of directors. Another person who's been there from the beginning is Susan Gross. She's a music teacher in the Spring Grove School District, and today she serves as our personnel director.
Wow.
And she was in it from the beginning, and she was very instrumental in recruiting many of the adults who to this day still play in our string section primarily.
Do you know, we actually use some music that you have produced for the show, and we put up on the screen that it's from the Hanover Symphony. But I have really enjoyed the music that you play. As a matter of fact, recently I heard that heart health is related to listening to music that you like. And conversely, if you hear music you don't like, it adversely affects your veins or something. So let me ask you, how do you choose the music that you play?
We like to offer something for everyone. So when I program the music, I'm the person who makes those programming decisions. I try to look at it as an audience member. If I were sitting in that audience, is this something I would want to listen to? So I try to make it as audience friendly, as easy on the ears as possible.
What were the, so you had a spring concert
Yes.
recently. What was the music that you played during that spring concert?
This spring would have been, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
no.
I do so many concerts in a week.
Oh,
I know the fall concert was with Greg Thomas, the Rhapsody in Blue, the Gershwin and Leroy Anderson favorites. We celebrated the 100th anniversary of the birth of Leroy Anderson this fall. We played 7 of his most popular pieces and a few lesser-known works that are really pleasing to the ear. And then we featured Greg Thomas, the Minister of Music at Grace Fellowship in York, New Salem, and he played the piano with us in Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. The spring just came to me. It was brass, glorious brass.
Oh, that's right.
And we featured the brass section in works like Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man and Paul Dukas' Fanfare to La Paris. And this was a favorite concert of mine because I actually got to be the guest artist. I got to sit back, relax, and let somebody else conduct the orchestra. Dennis Davis, our principal trumpet, and I reversed roles for the Neruda Trumpet Concerto. Dennis conducted the string orchestra, and I played the solo trumpet part.
so you, I attended that concert, and that was at the Eichelberger in Hanover. Now we said the Eichelberger, what is that? But the Eichelberger, it had been a school, and the school had been donated to the town at some point and was to be only used when it was no longer used as a school. It was to revert back to the heirs of some
Captain Eichelberger.
Captain Eichelberger. Yes. And at some point it, for reasons unclear to many of us, they decided to build some middle school or high school and take this beautiful edifice, and it went back to the heirs. They renovated the stage area, the auditorium. It's lovely, and that is where you now perform, isn't it?
Yes, we're a resident company of the Eichelberger Performing Arts Center. And the building, it's a magnificent building. It's over 100 years old. From the year 1900 to 1991, it was a public school. The Eichelberger family donated it to the school district, and with a specific request that it be used as a school for the children of Hanover. And if the school district decided at some point they didn't want to use the building anymore, then it went back into the hands of the family, and which they sold most of the building as commercial property for doctors' offices and whatnot. But the stage area became its own nonprofit organization, a performing arts center. And it opened in October 1998, and I'm proud to say that the Hanover Symphony Orchestra played the inaugural concert in that hall.
You are, of course, now you have all these musicians on stage. How many concerts a year do you give there?
It depends on if we're going to do a holiday concert or not. We typically do a fall and a spring concert at the Eichelberger Performing Arts Center. Then we have a summer concert we do, a summer pops concert outdoors at our summer home, the Get Mal Memorial Library.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
And if we do a Christmas concert, that's also at Eichelberger. And next season we are, in fact, going to perform a Christmas Holiday Pops concert.
Okay.
With guest tenor Michael Anderson, a native of York.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So he's tenor, so he's going to be singing along with you. How nice. I was also happy to attend a special sort of chamber music thing that you did at the Eichelberger. They have a room. What is that kind of room called?
It's called the Conservatory. It's in the top floor of the building. Has a beautiful chandeliers, beautiful bay windows with a full view of downtown Hanover.
Sort of rounded and just lovely. And at that, it was a chamber music special, or what did you call it?
We called it a taste of chamber music. And what we had there is we had food sampling, wine sampling, and music sampling. We had different groups, smaller groups, made up of members of the orchestra from each family of instruments. We had a string quartet, a woodwind quintet, brass quintet, and from the percussion family we had a marimba duet.
Oh, it really was lovely. And am I wrong? Was it like $20?
It was. I think it was $10 this year.
Incredibly
it was so
inexpensive, and it was lovely. A couple of the people actually who are also members of the orchestra were allowing us to sample their homemade wines, which were very, very nice. And you had some. Who was providing hors d'oeuvres?
I believe it was two different companies. I want to make sure I get them
I
right.
can't remember.
Big Mike's Crab House in Hanover, and also Schultz's Deli.
It was just a wonderful event. And are you going to be having that again?
That's going to become an annual thing, and every January we hope to do the Taste of Chamber Music.
Well, I don't know how you're going to get everyone in there who I mean, that first one was well attended, and I think that's a limited space, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're going to have to raise the prices. But that is, it's just so wonderful that we have so many talented individuals in Hanover that you can produce these concerts, and you partner with different groups. Didn't I hear you with some children's choir?
Yes, the Joyful Noise Youth Choir at the last Christmas concert we gave, which was 2 years ago, they sang with us.
And where are they from?
I think they're based in the Hanover YMCA. And their director is a lady by the name of Cindy Myers, and she does a great job, and it was a great collaboration.
Yes. So now you are also doing, there's just so many things I'd like to ask you about, and I at some point would like you to show us what you do with this baton, because frankly, and I believe this is really accurate, because I am the common man. Most of us don't know that much. If we don't play music, we simply know that what we like to hear, and we enjoy hearing good music. But other than that, I have no idea what the heck, couldn't anybody just get up there and go like this with their arms and get people to make this great sound? I don't know.
It's a very complicated skill, but when it's done well, it looks to the audience like it's easy, like it's a piece of cake.
So we're spending a whole lot of time looking at your back and seeing that sort of stuff. But you played the trumpet at the chamber, the Taste of Chamber.
And I also played the violin in the Gross's String Quartet.
Good Lord, you are really a talented man. Well, we are going to be taking a little bit of a break here in a second, and when we come back, you brought your baton with you. Maybe you can give us show us how it's used.
Okay.
And I think that'll be okay for the public to see. It's not like magicians showing off things, is it?
Tricks of the trade.
That's right. And also, I'd like you to be able to tell us of the upcoming musical events and invite everyone to come and hear them. That'll be really, really, really nice. I'm so glad you came. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to it.
I'm over 50, and even though I didn't have any symptoms,
I got tested for colon cancer.
I didn't even know I had polyps.
They don't always cause symptoms.
But screening can find polyps
so they can be removed
before they turn into cancer.
This is one cancer you can prevent.
I am so glad I got tested.
If you're over 50,
talk with your doctor.
And get tested.
Screening for colon cancer saves lives. Medicare helps pay for colorectal cancer screening.
Welcome back to Uprisings. My name is Muriel Krabs. I'm with Larry Kuntz, who is the director of the Hanover Symphony Orchestra, and we've been having a conversation about how the orchestra began in Hanover and where it's gotten to today. The Maestro is going to show us a little bit about how to direct. We were talking, of course, that for the most part, we see the back of you.
Right.
Now, we did get to
That's
see...
probably a good thing in my case.
We did get to see the front of you when you were playing the trumpet and the violin at the chamber music affair. And how many instruments do you play?
I know how to play all of them, but I'm really only very good at the trumpet and violin.
How many, when the orchestra is on stage, I imagine it has to do with what pieces you're playing. But generally, what sections are there?
There's the string section. From high to low, they produce a quartet sound with the violins playing the high voice, the violas, the middle voice, and the cellos playing the low voice, reinforced an octave, 2 octaves lower actually, by the double bass. And then we have the same sort of deal with the woodwind instruments: flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon. And yet again, the brasses do the same type of sounds from high to low. We have the trumpet, French horn, trombone, tuba, and then there's a whole plethora of sounds you can get from the percussion family. You could get bangs, zips, whistles, or even a melody on the marimba or xylophone.
What's the triangle? Is that a percussion?
Yes, it is. It's a triangular shaped piece of metal that you beat.
Can I play that?
Sure.
For any of us who don't really play.
Well, there's a technique. There's a right way and a wrong way to play each instrument, and with a little proper training, sure, you could play the triangle.
Well, it is just fascinating to me that so many people playing so many different instruments can produce such beautiful melodies and, again, such inspiring sounds. I'm not going to be able to ever get the headbanging stuff, but the music that the Hanover Symphony produces is so lovely, and the fact that all of your members are volunteer does affect the affordability for people who want to come and hear it. What generally are the prices?
They're very low. $12 and $10, I think, and children are $7.
Oh my gosh.
It's in that ballpark.
It's amazing.
It's very reasonable.
It's just amazing that it's. Now, if you, I think we talked about this the other night. What would happen if you had more? I mean, you do have a desire to have more corporate sponsors and bring more money into the orchestra. For what purpose? What would you do with extra money?
Well, we could offer more concerts, because every time you put on a concert, there are expenditures just for the facility we're using. And also guest artists. We're trying, in the 2010 season, we're trying to bring in a famous guest artist, I can't say who at this point, whose fee is almost $10,000 per performance. Gosh. And that's a major undertaking for a community group like ours. And if the community can rally around us and join our mission, support what we're doing, it would make it easier to expand what we do with more famous guest artists, more performances.
Well, I know that you are giving, you mentioned the Git Mal Library, which, by the way, I mean, I've driven by but have never had the pleasure of visiting. You've partnered with the Historical Society, haven't you?
Yes.
Aren't you going now?
We're in the process of doing that right now.
Right. Bill Wareheim from the Wareheim family that had the Hanover brands had left to the Historical Society one of the 2 great mansions in Hanover, one which many people don't know, but there was a movie called Girl Interrupted, and it was filmed at one of those mansions, of the 2 identical mansions, the Shepard Myers group. And I had the great joy and pleasure of actually bowling in the basement of that one mansion. It's an old wooden bowling alley, and I was in a sequin dress. It was just really, really cool. But anyhow, so now it's part of the Historical Society, and I think you're going to be giving concerts right on the lawn there, aren't you?
Yes, that's what it's called, Concerts on the Lawn. And it's going to happen every month in the summertime, the first Wednesday of every month from 6 to 7. We have a different chamber group made up of symphony musicians who are going to perform music that sort of reflect the mansion, the place where we're playing. And they're free to the public, And we're encouraging people to bring lawn chairs, picnic
Oh, that
dinners,
is just
and
gonna be
blankets,
lovely.
and it's going to be a great time. And what I like to say is, you can't beat it for the money.
No.
Free.
And for particularly for the people in York, I practice law and I go to the courthouse, and people often say to me, "How are things out in Hanover?" And I chewed my husband's mucklucks this morning. I'm just a kid, but it's a nice drive from many different areas, and encourage people from around the county to come and hear you.
Sure.
And I think that they become aware of the talent and just the beauty of the music that you offer for no money. What a great deal. And now the Git Mal, is that it? Git Mal Mansion. Now that was owned by the family that had a great interest in the paper company. Is that correct? Do you know?
I believe. I don't know as much about it.
Right.
I do know that the family still owns the building, and you can reserve it. The grounds are gorgeous.
Right.
If you travel out of Hanover on Broadway, Route 194 North, and you go about halfway up the Pigeon Hills, it's one hill, but we call it the Pigeon Hills.
Right.
And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous old stone structure, and has wonderfully manicured lawns. And we play outside. We actually set the orchestra up on the side porch and play out to the side lawn.
So when are those concerts?
Well, we're going to be doing that performance July 11th, 2009, Saturday night, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we have an encore performance. The very next night, we're going to do the same play the same concert as part of the Lyric Band Concert Series at Cadora State Park, at the Cadora State Park Band Shell. That's July 12th at 7 o'clock.
Oh,
the
my
next night.
gosh.
So if you can come to one or the other, that would be great. It's going to be the same concert.
Do you have a website?
Yes, we do. It's www.hanoversymphonyorchestra. Got to catch my breath there. .org.
.org.
Yeah,
okay.
you have to include the entire name to get to our site.
HanoverSymphonyOrchestra.org. And if you went to that website, you would be able to see the schedule, which is for the summer. You guys are very active.
Yes, there's a link called it says schedule. You click on that, and you can see all of the concerts on the lawn at the Myers-Wehrheim Mansion, which we should mention is on the corner of Baltimore and Hanover Streets in downtown Hanover.
Right in Hanover, one of the two mansions. I mean,
First Wednesday every month of the summer, 6 o'clock
How can you not
p.m.
like this? What's so much fun? One day I was driving with a sister visiting from out of town, and my daughter, who was in high school at the time, and I was telling my older sister that this Eichelberger building had been a high school, and my daughter's in the back seat, and she goes, wait. This is a high school? This was a high school? And I said, yes. She goes, I would have been so proud to go to a school that looked like this. I mean, it's just a beautiful edifice. And then the Myers-Wehrheim Mansion is also just a fabulous building, and the Git Mal place as well. And it's just we're very blessed.
And the way I look at it, our concerts are a multi-sensory experience because you have this gorgeous scenery in the venues we play at, and then your ears get the gorgeous music. It just makes for a complete experience.
And this again fits so much into why I am doing this show. I mean, to encourage people to touch the things that are there, that are available to us to inspire and make, improve our existences. I mean, times might get tough, but heck, the Hanover Symphony is still playing, and you've got all these great local artists to bring music to people's ears, which we really need. Okay, so let's see, what does this baton thing
Okay. I should mention that this was a gift from the symphony musicians about 2 seasons ago, and I've tried to take very good care of it. It doesn't quite fit inside my briefcase, and I just got a new puppy dog who chewed the end of it, but it still works. This is my baton holder, and this is a conducting baton.
Okay.
And you need to think of the conductor as an air traffic controller at the airport. The musicians are different planes at the airport. The stage is the airport. And it's the conductor's job, like the air traffic controller's job, to make sure everything flows together smoothly with no crashes.
Crashes?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the things the musicians do is they have to stay locked on the baton, because the baton can show many different things. It shows mainly how the music is grouped in beats of 4, beats of 3, beats of 2, or any other number really. The most common pattern we have is the 4 pattern, which goes down, in, out, up. When the musicians see me conducting with this pattern, they know that we are in 4/4 time, as opposed to if I just do down, out, up, now we're in 3/4 time, and probably performing a waltz or a ballad or something like that.
Okay.
It also can show volume. If I do big beats, I want lots of sound from the players. If I do smaller beats, I want less sound from the players.
So you do the same movement, but only smaller.
Right. That's to show volume. I can also show style or note length. If the music should sound detached, I show that like this. Bam. Almost like I'm karate chopping with my baton. When the musicians see my pattern look like this, they're putting spaces between every note. When they see me almost like I'm stirring stew, I want all the notes long and smooth and full value and everything just flowing very smoothly. So there's a lot that goes into the right hand, but mainly through the tip of the baton that they're watching. They have to have really good peripheral vision. They have to watch the music on the stand so they know what's coming up, but they also have to, out of the corner of their eye, see me, and particularly this, to know where we are as a group in the music. And then the left hand doesn't have anything in it, because that's more of a personal thing, where let's say the cymbal player has a crash on beat 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There he is. I give him his cue. It's mainly a cue hand. Or I can reinforce if I want it extremely loud. Both hands can give the large beats. So it's the left hand is more of like my personal take on how I want to show the music to the musicians so that they can present the sound to the audience.
Well, we are just about out of time,
Okay.
but you're going to let me do this
Yes.
while we say goodbye,
Now,
as a matter of
we're going to
fact.
shake hands.
Okay.
Now you hold the baton just like you're shaking hands. It's going to come right into the palm of your hand.
Okay.
And check this out. She's going to turn her knuckles up. Perfect. We should call you Maestro.
Okay. Well, Maestro's
down, in, out, up. You're there.
Up.
Okay, I just found my replacement.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you for joining us. To-da!